I don't claim to know everything, but everything I say in this video is my opinion, and I would just like you to hear me and listen to me in the perspective of a young black female. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about George Floyd. If you somehow aren't aware of who he is, he was a 46-year-old African-American man that was murdered by a police officer. I believe the cops were called after George allegedly forged a $20 check at a grocery store. I'm going to read a paragraph of an article I found on Wikipedia that I cross-checked with other sources. On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd, an African-American man, died in Powderhorn, a neighborhood south of downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. While Floyd was handcuffed and laying face down on a city street during an arrest, Derek Chauvin, a white Minneapolis police officer, kept his knee on the right side of Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. 2 minutes and 53 seconds of which occurred after Floyd became unresponsive, according to the criminal complaint filed against Chauvin. Officers To Tao, J. Alexander Kung, and Thomas K. Lane participated in Floyd's arrest, with Kung holding Floyd's back, Lane holding his legs, and Tao looking on as he stood nearby. Now that's the part of the article I added to give you a sort of a backstory. Now, when the police arrived, George didn't argue with them. He wasn't aggressive. The police had already handcuffed him. I'm not sure what happened next, but Chauvin proceeded to kneel on George's neck. Chauvin had his knee on George's lower back, his other knee on George's lower back near his hands. George continuously said, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." I won't be showing the video, but it's all over social media and the internet. But in the video, you can hear George cry out for his mother, and he also said, "Don't kill me," before his eyes never opened again. People that were filming this incident pleaded with the other officers to do something. They also told Chauvin to get off of him. After the autopsy was revealed, they said that George had underlying health conditions. Anyone with eyes can clearly see that George just didn't have oxygen in his lungs. Now I'm going to read a few things that I wrote to help me with my points. So after George's death, there have been protests, and there have also been riots, mostly at nighttime. And the news literally only covers the riots, and they make it seem like black people or African Americans are doing all the looting, and they don't want to, they just want to commit crimes and stuff. But that's not actually true. When undercover cops actually partake in the riots, and police officers have been so violent, so aggressive. They've been macing little girls. I've seen a video of a cop macing a little girl, and she's screaming and crying. Cops have been pushing people down for no reason. People are just protesting. Even in daylight, people are protesting and sitting down with their hands raised up with their signs, and the police officers proceed to aggressively harm them. They didn't do anything to the cops, but they throw them in everything. It's so disgusting. The cops are even. They have the audacity to try and like roll over people. They go so fast in their car and they like try to like roll over people and be insensitive. I've also seen another video where a cop was on a horse and they trample over a woman. It's just so disgusting. And the way they put it on the news, it's like these killings have just been happening. But no, it's been happening for years and decades and decades and decades. This is not new. It just, with this age and the technology that we have, we are just filming it. It's been going on. The news makes it sound like this is just random, but it's not random. It's been going on. The oppression of Black people, people of color. It is not okay. Don't just sit idly by and don't do anything. Don't just think, well, I'm not racist, so it doesn't apply to me. It applies to everyone. You have to be anti-racist. You have to speak up. In fact, I'll read you a post. It says, community coming together to clean up in South Minneapolis. Of course, the media won't show you this part though. The community came together to clean up their community. We all need to do that. I watched the news last night and this anchor said that celebrities need to speak up. Yet they're not speaking up. In fact, I have seen a few celebrities at protests, but the majority of them aren't doing anything. They just aren't doing anything. Like, they think it's going to hurt their brand or their aesthetic on Instagram. Like, there's more important things than your aesthetic. And if you're like a millionaire and billionaire and you're just set for life, why does it matter if you speak up? Like, what are they going to do to you? It's just so disgusting. And like, these celebrities and good people and citizens that have been going to protests and live streaming it and documenting, and it really shows me who my allies are and who I'm going to continue to support, because I am not going to support people that do not support me. And these undercover cops that have been starting the riots and stuff like that, it just proves that Black people don't want violence. We want change. We just want change. And with the $1,200 stimulus check, I believe 90 million Americans are out of work. So I do believe that's why lots of people have been going to protest, because they don't have anything to do in the day. They don't have work, so they're going to protest. America was built by enslaved people just to be put at the bottom of the food chain. No one should even be put at the bottom of the food chain. There shouldn't even be a food chain. America was never great. They stole, the whites, Europeans stole the land from the indigenous people. And they have the audacity to think that they are higher than everyone. They are Almighty God, and that people of color are just guests in their country. America isn't great. It needs to become great. I'll read you something else. I need you to see this. White folks all over the country are burning stuff down, destroying buildings, and leaving black organizers behind with the mess. But who is trying to stop them? A black woman. This was posted on Instagram from Sean King, who reposted it from James Jefferson J. It's just so tiring. I am sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. I am tired of every single week I'm seeing a new black person dead for something that they didn't even need to die over. And it's not just black men, countless black women too. And I never want to feel desensitized to people being murdered and nothing being done. I literally felt so terrible last night, like to my core, because I knew that I had a bed to sleep in tonight when I knew people were out protesting and risking their lives, some people are being locked up and being maced. It's just so terrible that this is happening, but it's also a very good time for change to happen. Something needs to be done. Black people have been protesting for decades and years. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, we've been through this countless of times, but the government doesn't want to listen. So this is why black people feel like they need to resort to this type of violence. Me personally, I do not agree with the rioting, but finally, the government is finally shedding a light on this. They are finally giving it the coverage that it deserves. They're not sweeping it under the rug. Racism isn't getting worse. It's just being filmed. Racism has been a thing since way back when. It's just never been filmed. In fact, it's probably worse back then. We are in 2020. We shouldn't be worrying about our lives being taken because of an alleged forged check, or reaching for your wallet, or buying Skittles at a convenience store, or going for a jog. This shouldn't be happening just because of the pigment of our skin. People think that we are bad people. Black people have to be perfect all the time, so we won't be misconstrued as thieves or, villains or a menace to society. It's just so disgusting, and I'm tired, and it should not be my job to educate ignorant people. Everyone has access to the internet. There are signs, posters, newspapers. If you're ignorant, it's because you allow yourself to continue to be ignorant. Use the internet, use Google. Research. It's right there on the screen. It's not okay. It's not okay not to know anymore. Because in this day and age, everyone should know right from wrong. Everyone should know this is right from wrong. I would like to end this with this. Lots of people claim to love black people, black hairstyles, and black culture, and love to say the N-word. But where are they now when we need help? In the description, I will link all the articles I found, petitions you can sign, and organizations you can donate to, and the GoFundMe to help George's family. It includes funds for his funeral and his kids, etc. Don't be racist, be anti-racist. But most importantly, don't just speak up, but be better.